we got bad blood. You know we used to be bad love. So take a look what you've done. Cause baby, now we got bad blood. Hey, now we got problems. And I don't think we can solve them. You made a really deep cut. And baby, now we got bad blood.
Hello everybody and welcome to my review of the Lego Ninjago movie, directed by Charlie Bean and Paul Fisher. So, the Lego Ninjago movie, this is the third theatrically released Lego movie so far. We had the Lego movie in 2014 and earlier this year we had the Lego Batman movie, which was released in February. This movie has been has only just been released. One of my subscribers, the Dragon Critic, otherwise known as Lee, has been anticipating this movie for a long old time, and he's now seen it twice. So go and check his review out as well. Okay, and I'd like to mention that I saw this film with Nicholas Payne, one of my subscribers, and I would like to say I would like to give a short reaction before the preliminary review, after I just summarised the plot. So, the story of this is basically centres around this young teenager named Lloyd. His father is an evil warlord, and he's been bullied for that. But he's part of this little group of ninjas, which are run by his uncle, his Master Wu, and he has to try and, confront his father, and kind of sounds familiar, doesn't it? And save Ninjago from constantly being attacked. And as the film goes on, you start to see him form a relationship with his father. You get the idea. So, before the preliminary review, I would like to play a short reaction with myself and Nicholas Payne after seeing the movie. Enjoy. Guys, this is Mr. Thomas11 here with Nick Payne.
Hi guys.
We have just come out of seeing the Lego Ninjago movie. This isn't the first time we've done a reaction like this. We did do one for Cars 3 as well.
I'm recording on my phone, so...
Yes. But don't worry, this time I think this one looks a bit better.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it was interesting. It was interesting. I mean, it's just the third sort of feature Lego movie that's been out in recent years.
Cinematic one at least.
Yeah.
Theatrical.
I mean, what was your general overview of the film?
Funny, enjoyable, but it's not the best one.
No.
I mean, it's not bad by any stretch of the imagination. There's worse.
Exactly. Yeah.
But it's not the greatest one. It's certainly the weakest of the Lego cinematic ones.
Yeah.
Cinematic universe.
I felt it lacked the kind of energy, the punchiness, the wittiness of the first two that we've seen, and the story just was very predictable for me. I mean, it's not a bad movie. It was fun in certain places. I mean, kids would be perfectly happy with it.
Yeah.
But
there's a lot of funny moments.
Yeah, they've kind of let us down with this one. It's not a complete dud, but I mean, it's animated really well, and there's enough action to keep you going. But there's just not much of a story, and there's not much you can sink your teeth into. At least with the Lego movie and the Lego Batman movie, there was a central story that you could get into. But it's funny, in the screening that we went to, there was only one other person in there. Sorry. And it wasn't a kid.
No.
So we went to a 6:30 showing
on a Sunday.
Yeah, on a Sunday. So there's no kids in there for obvious reasons.
It's nearly 20 to 9.
Yeah. So understandably. But I mean, maybe if we'd seen an earlier showing, we would have got a sense of the audience reaction.
Yeah.
But the guy that was in the screening didn't.
He didn't laugh. He just watched.
He just watched. I think he nearly fell asleep at one point.
I think he just went because, like us, he just likes going to the movies.
Yeah. I mean, there's certainly.
Or maybe checking out for his kids just in case. Or maybe because he didn't go with them.
Or maybe he's a critic. Maybe he's reviewing it.
Yeah. Maybe
like we are.
Maybe he'll say, yeah, it's got some enjoyable bits some people would like. But
yeah. I think I've completely lost what I was going to say now.
It's all right.
I think that what was quite funny about it was the cat. I think that was definitely the funniest thing in the movie. And Jackie Chan was by quite some mile.
And the villain.
Great performance.
The villain was very funny.
Garmadon, he was interesting.
Got a very interesting backstory about
how he fell in love.
Just over halfway.
Yeah, how he sort of fell in love with Lloyd's mother.
Yeah, there was actually. I know it was an interesting bit that happens about start of Act 3, I think it was.
Yeah, I mean, I think yeah.
More people.
So, anyway, just to wrap up, that's really it. I want to see the cinema in the background.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
People.
Thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for Nick's review as well. This will be going on both of our reviews.
Hopefully.
So, have a nice evening. I'm Ollie, this is Nick.
Bye.
See ya. So, yeah, if you couldn't already tell, the Lego Ninjago movie, sadly, is a big disappointment. I kind of had a feeling it would be, judging by the trailers, but I never really had any expectations going into this film. I just kind of went to see it, only to review it, really, in comparison to the first two films. And also because my friend and subscriber Lee was obviously wanting to hear my thoughts on it. I mean, this movie's strictly for kids, let's just be honest. I think it's perfectly fine. Kids will love it. They'll enjoy it. It's a fun watch. But it's nowhere near as good as those other two films. I think the biggest problem really is the script, the story. It just doesn't... It just lacks the edge. I think the biggest problem with this movie is that it doesn't know what to do. It kind of has a concept which is kind of cool, but at the same time, it sets itself up as being very generic. And I agree with Harry Thomas in his review when he said this, that the movie just basically sets up our protagonist as a generic outsider. Unlike the Emoji Movie, it actually isn't too bad, but you can see where it's going. The biggest issue is that it's predictable. You know that Lloyd is going to be loved by everybody at the end, and you know he's going to form a relationship with his dad, and you know that they're going to save the town, and it's pointless really to watch it, because you know where it all leads. The way the story is planned out is much too easy. I mean, I know this is a movie for kids, and it's meant to be easy to follow, but the predictability of it, it's much too predictable. People are just going to see where it's going. I mean, unless the kids who don't understand anything about the way films work. It was generic, it was cliched, and that was what disappointed me the most. There is virtually nothing in this movie that stands out, other than the beautiful animation and the cat. I mean, to be honest, the cat was quite funny. But, I mean, that aside, there's some cool action, but there's just not much of a story. I didn't care about the story. I didn't really give a damn about the story. Even when they tried to be emotional with the backstory with Lloyd's parents, and the very end speech with Lloyd when everything is tied up. Let's just say, I won't give away any spoilers in case you want to see the movie, but the very last speech, you can see they're trying really, really hard to be emotional. I mean, I guess that speech, to me, is something that unintentionally rips off the speech at the end of the first movie, the Lego movie, sorry. I'm not saying it was direct, it was unintentional, but to me, like, the speech with, in the Lego movie when Emmett talks to Lord President, or whatever he's called, Mr. President, or something like, I can't remember his actual name, Lord President, in the climax of the movie, it's a similar kind of thing. It's pretty much the exact same thing. So, yeah, there's a lack of originality in this movie. I mean, I'm sure the Lego Ninjago show is great. I've never seen it. I didn't know anything about it until I watched this film. And, I mean, my good friend Lee is a huge fan of it, and he's been filling me in on it. He actually got to go to the premiere for this movie, so good on him. I mean, I like the animation. I think the performances are fine. Jackie Chan is obviously the most famous person in the movie as Master Wu, and the guy who owns the shop. Because the movie opens with this live action scene between him and a kid, and I thought that was kind of interesting. They always, I mean, that was a nice sort of homage to the Lego movie, which is nice. Dave Franco voices Lloyd. I think at times he really overdoes the voice. I mean, like, he's always emphasizing his words. He can't speak without really enunciating and emphasizing his words. That's, to me, what it sounds like. Like times when he's angry with Garmadon, and He's like, I need you to be there for me. You're my dad. It's like, just tone it down, man. Tone it down. I don't think the direction is very good at all. I just think they've kind of tried to throw it together. They've tried too hard to make it like the first two films, and it just falls flat for me. And I think as a result, my interest drained, and the movie kind of just dragged. The movie dragged in the middle. When we got to the jungle, those scenes just dragged, and also the fact that they just suddenly allow, a certain character. I mean, none of this at all difficult to work out who it is. A certain character decides to work with them to find this ultimate peace when that character has been a villain already. It's like, what? What? Where is the motivation in this? Because, I thought they were trying to fight against this guy. What? They've just completely confused themselves. I don't know. I mean, and, the whole thing reveal about the ultimate weapon being is so obvious. I saw it coming from a mile away. I knew exactly what they were going to do. And it just doesn't have the witticism, the sharpness, the veracity of those first two films. And this movie's a drag. It suffers. It's tired. It has a tired feeling. And I do think Garmadon is quite funny. He was a good character, and it's good how he kind of learns to be good in the end. But at the end of the day, you're just not really interested. I think the characters are dull. I mean, I like Lloyd, but he's just your average guy. There's nothing really remotely interesting about him. The others, much the same. The only characters I did like were obviously the cat. That was funny. And Garmadon was really the most interesting character, but other than that, they're all just kind of boring. And obviously Jackie Chan is cool. The action is fun. The script is just not on that same level, and the movie's just a disappointment. I mean, what can I say? I mean, I didn't expect it to be great, but yeah. And I think in terms of the cat as well, when they use the cat, you can so easily tell that the cat is working in front of a green screen. I mean, they trained the cat very well, but at the same time, it's just obvious. I mean, we're in a day and age when visual effects are state of the art, and that just looked very cheap to me. The way they integrated the cat's things with the actual Lego set, and it's just, it doesn't work for me. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to come across as negative, but the movie disappointed me. But I don't think it's terrible. I don't think it's awful. I think there's enough. I mean, it's a fun watch. If I were drunk, I'd probably watch it. But that's not that I'm trying to get drunk. But I mean, if you have kids, they'll find it entertaining. It's an entertaining 90 minutes. The first act was pretty cool, and it started out well, and then it just started to drag, and I lost interest in it, and the script was just not doing it for me. It feels like all that really happens is fighting, and then they have to go on a quest fighting, blah, blah, blah. It's just going in this constant back and forth motion. Character moments fighting, and, at least the Lego Batman movie and the Lego movie both had, the Lego movie had a basic story. At least the Lego Batman movie had a bit more of a cohesive story. The story is just kind of, it's generic, it's cliche, we've seen it all before. But hey ho, we can't all have good films. But I will say, I will be nice, and I'm going to give it a marginal pass. Just simply because I think there's enough fun moments in there for kids to enjoy. So it will please its target audience, but for people who aren't of that age, it's just not going to work. And for people who loved the first two Lego films, you're just not going to like it. Okay. But I mean, if you happen to love the movie, that's fine. That's fine. Tell me why below in the comments. And again, I want to thank Nicholas Payne for appearing in this. Please subscribe to his channel. Check out his review when he uploads that. Yes, I'm going to score the Lego Ninjago movie a just about 6 out of 10.
'Cause baby, now we got bad blood. We used to be bad love. So take a look what you've done. 'Cause baby, now we got bad blood. Hey! Now we got problems, and I don't think we can solve them. You made a really deep cut. 'Cause baby, now we got bad
Just
blood.
about, literally, it's just getting up to a 6. So yeah, because I did have a chuckle here and there. I mean, I did laugh at a couple of bits, but yeah, I mean, there's some nice. The music score is nice when they use it, and it was nice that they had It's a Hard Knock Life for us. I thought that was quite funny. So yeah, that's it, guys. It's my review of the Lego Ninjago movie. What do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Put your comments down below. Let me know. And stay tuned for my review of Raging Bull and the Thor trilogy, which will be coming very soon. So thank you guys all for watching, and as always, I'm Mr. TARDIS11. See ya.